Oh, yeah. Is it Tuesday already? Yesterday was probably one of the craziest days for Star Wars news. It was article after article after interview, all about Andor Season 2. Tony Gilroy revealing so much about this upcoming final and second season of this Andor series. And he might have put a big old downer on the possible cameos that could appear in this Andor Season 2, but he also teased the possibility of some very familiar faces as well. So, without further ado, let's dive into all of this. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing on this fine Tuesday afternoon? Okay, so yesterday was really, really crazy. There was a bunch of interviews that came out with Tony Gilroy from Entertainment Weekly and the Collider and all these other places. They're really ramping up for Andor Season 2. They're giving recaps, 15-minute recaps on YouTube for Andor Season 1. They've released the entirety of Season 1 on YouTube and on Hulu to try and get more people to go watch it. It's really they think they got something special on their hands here, and I think they do too with Andor Season 2. And they really want to push it out. So they're pushing Andor Season 1 right now, and then they're going to, of course, bring us home with the second season. But with that being said, we got a lot to get into. Tony Gilroy revealed so much in these interviews that we need to talk about. So without further ado, let's say hi to everybody in the chat, shall we? All right. How's everybody doing on this fine Tuesday afternoon, chat? How's everybody doing? How you doing, chat? Hang on, let's say hi. Steve, what is up? Star Wars Order, how we doing? Mando United in the house. B-Man, what is up? Freddy, what is up? Brandon Baker in the house. 50 Thunder, how we doing? Kit Fisto, what is up? Nathan, how we doing? Fearless, how we doing? Darth Plagueis lives, what is up? WUV Grad in the house. Starship 66, what is up? Justin, how we doing? King Shadow, what's up? Holly, how we doing? If I missed you, you know the deal. Just yell at me in the chat. Let's give everybody a nice little...
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
Okay, so there's no better way to start off a live stream than with super chats already sent in. Oh, they're two super stickers. Sorry. Darth Plagueis lives with a $2 and a $5 super sticker. Holy crap, feeling extra generous before the stream even started. I appreciate that. Super chats, memberships keep the lights on over here. And well, as you can tell, we're struggling with that. No, okay. In all seriousness, that does come in on Thursday. So hopefully by Thursday's live stream, that live sign will be back on. But that's besides the point. We got to talk about this Andor Season 2 craziness. Now, the title of this live stream is Cameos Revealed. And honestly, it is some cameos revealed, but it's also a lot of cameos denied. It's revealing cameos that are not going to happen, as Tony Gilroy really kills our hopes and dreams. He also kills our hopes and dreams in another way by saying that he is done with Star Wars, but we'll get to all of that. So first things first, let's dive into this, shall we? Your pal Joe, what is up? All right, let's do this. First things, actually, before we get to any of this, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 42 days until Andor Season 2, 42, that's it. On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for this second season of this series? Tell me in the chat. While you do that, let's check this out. So we'll go to the Entertainment Weekly one first, because this is sort of the back and forth between Tony Gilroy and Entertainment Weekly. It's more of an interview-like thing than all the other ones, I think. But let's do this. Another Mike who loves Star Wars. What's up, Raheem's World? How we doing? Okay, that's a lot of 10s. Yeah, to me, it feels like this Andor Season 2 hype has grown an insane amount over the last 2-3 weeks. And it's really great because the 2 trailers that dropped were awesome and it got people really, really hyped up. But a Season 2 already has, of course, the fans from Season 1. But now you're getting hyped up even more because you know the greatness that already came before it. And well, I can attest, Season 1 is greatness. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's read this article, shall we? So, Andor creator Tony Gilroy teases a hellacious Season 2 for Mon Mothma. I don't think anybody has a harder road. Now, we've talked about this. Mon Mothma is going to go through the whole Gorman Massacre thing in this second season, go probably face-to-face with Palpatine, or at least, I guess, call out Palpatine for all the wrongdoings that he does with the Empire. But she's going to have quite the tough road in this second season, marrying her kid off, all that crazy stuff. So let's get into it. Andor is returning with a full throttle rebellion yell. Okay. A full throated, throated, sure, rebel yell. What's a rebel yell sound like? Ah! Okay. The series, which premieres its second season on April 22nd on Disney Plus, thrusts viewers back into the heart of the Galactic Rebellion. It picks up with mercenary thief turned revolutionary, Cassian Andor, played by Diego Luna, and fills in the remaining 4 years between the first season of Andor and Rogue One, a Star Wars story, in which Andor leads a team to steal the Death Stars, to steal the plans for the Death Star. So originally, and I'm sure many of you know this by now, but originally, the Andor series was supposed to be 5 seasons. Yeah, 5 seasons. Now it's been dwindled down to 2 for many reasons. If it was 5 seasons, we'd be getting a whole decade more of Andor. And not that that's sort of a complaint, but I don't think Diego Luna wanted to play Cassian for another decade. I don't think Tony Gilroy wanted to work another decade on Star Wars. I don't think anybody wanted to spend that much time creating 5 seasons of Andor, especially if there's going to be 3 years in between each season. So it was dwindled down to 2 seasons. And now all the people who are complaining about the first season being so slow are going to be hit in the face with greatness in season 2. Because all that, I guess, filler or slow, drawn-out story, that's gone. That's gone. Because 4 seasons of a television show have been dwindled down into 1. And it's going to be 4 arcs that are all just killer, no filler, if you will. So originally 5 seasons, now down to 2, and they're going to be just incredible. Okay? So let's do this. That's an awful lot of ground to cover. 4 years, that is. Considering that season 1 took place over only a span of 1 year. And now we're going over 4 years. But that's just how Tony Gilroy likes it, as he said this. If time was unlimited and money was unlimited, and we could have done the 5 seasons that we planned from the beginning, I don't think it would have been better at all. Interesting. I can't think of a better way to lay it out than what we lucked into, because the idea that it takes a year and 12 episodes for him to evolve into a revolutionary, it needed all that room for that. So it needs the room for the beginning. But now we don't need that room anymore. We saw Cassian go from just the normie guy who was just kind of doing his own thing, looking for his sister, doing whatever. And then the guy who, by the end of season 1, is now joining the rebellion with Luthen, becoming a soldier of the rebellion. Now, season 2 is going to be how he becomes a leader, but we'll get to that in a second. So, he continues. But as we go forward, it's emotionally powerful. It's narratively powerful. It adds to the adventure of the story. It intensifies all the romantic entanglements to have these year-long negative gaps in between and to land in just very specific moments. It's 3 or 4 days each time we land. Interesting. So this is a little bit of information as to what we are going to see in season 2. 3 or 4 days will be the course of the 3 episode arcs. So every time we hit a new year, we just spawn into the next year in the Star Wars timeline. It's only going to be a couple days, and those are going to be the most important days of that year for Cassian and for the rebellion. But we're only going to see a couple years. And what he's talking about here is the actual negative gaps, the stuff we don't see is going to be very important as it intensifies all the stuff, the romantic entanglements of, let's say, a Bix and Cassian, or just anything. You're going to see these big gaps in what they really mean for the rebellion as it's growing like crazy. This is not a spot in the timeline that hasn't been explored. Star Wars Rebels takes place at the exact same time. So we know a lot of what's going on currently in the galaxy at this time. We got Thrawn going on Lothal and the rebellion growing very, very slowly over time with Ahsoka as fulcrum and all these other crazy rebel cells, if you will. I think what Andor is going to show us, at least by the end, is how the rebellion comes together. because it starts from just being a bunch of different random people doing all these different rebellious acts across the galaxy, and then they all come together to fight against one specific cause by the end of season 2. And that is, of course, getting the plans for the Death Star during Rogue One. Connor, what's up? Yeah. He continues, though. It's about 3 or 4 days each time we land. That has an intensification factor on all of those things in a way that I never anticipated. Interesting. So originally, like I mentioned, again, he wrote this as 5 seasons. So he didn't really know what it would look like when you dwindle it down to only 2 and 4 years into 1. When we brought into the room, everybody was suspicious, but it was really exciting to do. It was like cooking a sauce down where you just get down to the rooks. Chat, that's not English. Okay. For those who've watched the season 2 trailer, many familiar faces pop up, including season 1 major players like Luthen, Mon Mothma, Bix, Imperial officers Dedra, Cyril, of course. But there's a host of characters from Rogue One that are also in the trailer. Saw Gerrera, who appeared briefly in season 1, but he's going to have a way bigger role in season 2, by the way. That's been confirmed. Weapons developer Orson Krennic, being played by Ben Mendelsohn, and reprogrammed Imperial droid K-2SO, but it does not stop there. Oh no, it definitely does not. Now, tell me in the chat as we read on here, who do you think of just Rebels in general, but Rogue One characters specifically? Who do you think we will see in this second season? Is it possible that a Galen Erso, a Jyn Erso, or even characters like a Bail Organa, Leia Organa, who were both in Rogue One as well, could show up in this series? You could start going crazy, and we will go crazy later on in the stream, about characters like a Harrison Dula or a Chopper, of course. But we'll get to that later. Tell me in the chat, who do you think is the most likely character from a Rogue One that could be in Andor Season 2? Vader's a good one, too. Yeah, Darth Vader, of course. Okay. So this is what I think might be the coolest image that we have so far from the show. I mean, it's Mon Mothma and Luthen, and it looks like Mon Mothma is being taken away by stormtroopers. Yeah. Honestly, I have no idea what's going on here. I don't know. Is she being arrested? Is she being taken off a world? Is she going to have to escape? Like, I don't know. But it'll be interesting. Okay, moving on. If all this has your head reeling faster than a jump into hyperspace, you're in luck. Disney has put together a helpful 14-minute recap of Season 1 that you can watch now on YouTube. Now, we're not going to watch the entire 14-minute recap on YouTube, because that would take 14 minutes. But this is very important. We've had a second season of a show before. Granted, only one, and it's The Mandalorian. But we didn't get any of this when that happened. People need to really focus on what's happening here. Andor Season 1 was not really watched by many people. Oh, we have a super chat. Hang on. It wasn't really watched by many people. And the idea here is to get more people to rewatch or watch for the first time Andor Season 1 in preparation for Andor Season 2. Because I still believe that Andor Season 2 is going to be so much better than Season 1. And I'm not saying that Season 1's bad. No, I'm not at all. I love Season 1. Season 1's one of my top 3. Yeah, I'd argue top 3 Star Wars shows to date. Live action shows to date. Top 3. And I still think that the second season will be leaps and bounds better than the first. But with that being said, I got a super chat. Hang on. David Fieldsen with a very generous $2 hollow. What's up, David? It's been a while. Says Bail Organa. Interesting. We'll talk about Bail. We will talk about Mr. Organa in just a little bit. Okay? Okay. But I appreciate the super chat. I really, really do. Super chats, memberships, keep the lights on over here. But now that I've been so rudely interrupted, let's get back to this article, shall we? Okay. Just kidding. I appreciate it, David. Season 1 of Andor is also now available on Hulu. and the first 3 episodes of the series can be watched on Disney Plus's YouTube channel. This has never happened before. Darth Vader's in the chat. What's up, Darth Vader? Are you going to be in Andor season 2? That's what we all want to know. Okay, but this has never happened before. Take a look at this. Whoops, not that. Take a look at this. When you go to YouTube and you go to Disney Plus's YouTube channel, for free, absolutely free. Oops. What the hell? Oh, here we go. For free. You don't have to pay for any streaming service. You don't have to pay for anything. You can watch Andor season 1, 2, and 3. Right there. The full episodes. 39 minutes, 16 seconds, 35 minutes, 43 seconds, 40 minutes, and 21 seconds. That's the entirety of the episodes. Never happened before. You don't have to pay for a streaming service. You don't have to pay for Hulu. You don't have to pay for Disney Plus. Right there. The entirety of the first 3 episodes. Not the whole season, of course. You can only sort of get a sneak peek, I guess. Only the first 3 episodes. But this is weird. This is weird. Now, the question I have for you guys is, why are they doing this? I get it. It's sort of motivation for people who don't have Disney Plus to sort of watch the episodes and then go from there. But to put it on YouTube for free, I don't get it. Won't they get paid from YouTube, LOL? Yes, but it's not like gaining a subscriber on Disney Plus. It's very, very different. Now, here's why I actually think they did this. If you guys recall, towards the beginning of this year, we got this sort of big bad news across for Disney, let's say. As Disney Plus lost 700,000 subscribers. Does anybody remember this? 700,000 subscribers lost in the first quarter of this year. Now, a lot of that can be said because there was nothing going on. Skeleton Crew had ended. There was no Marvel show. There was no nothing. Up until now, where Daredevil Born Again just began, there was nothing going on. So a lot of people just either got rid of their Disney Plus accounts. There was rumors that some of them were bot accounts or whatever, maybe. And they were just clearing house from the bot accounts. I don't know. But even still, it seems to me that Disney Plus is in some sort of bad spot, let's say. Now, Daredevil Born Again has begun, and give me one into the chat if you're watching Daredevil Born Again. New episode tonight. But Daredevil Born Again starts, and it's already out now. Andor, of course, starts in 42 days. And that's exciting, and that should get a lot more subscribers back to Disney Plus, because yes, it may sound crazy, but a lot of people do just get Disney Plus on a monthly basis just to watch the shows that they want to watch. I mean, that makes sense. I keep it for the most part because I like to go back and rewatch stuff. I like to go back and rewatch a lot of Star Wars stuff, but even Marvel too. So a lot of people pay for Disney Plus month to month. If there's a show that they want to watch, then they'll go get Disney Plus for the month. So that's why I think this is happening. You don't just put 3 full episodes on Disney Plus, and obviously you're expecting some sort of return. You're expecting people to watch the first 3 episodes and go, I want more of that. Now, what's really weird to me is look at the numbers here. Look at the numbers. 64,000 people. I almost said million, but it's 1,000. 64,000 people have watched all of episode 1 in the last day. Only 12,000 have watched episode 2, and 22,000 have watched episode 3. So either people are just skipping episode 2, or people are just only watching episode 3. I don't even know. I don't know. It's a little strange to me. But this has never happened before. This is a historic moment for Disney Plus and Star Wars and Disney in general, posting a Star Wars live-action show for free. Granted, a portion of the show on Disney Plus. That's crazy. Oh, hang on. We got a super chat. Hang on, chat. Christopher with a very generous $5 holla. I appreciate that, Christopher. I really, really do. Says, do you think Obi-Wan and or / Leia will make an appearance in Andor Season 2? Appreciate your show. Well, Christopher, I appreciate the super chat. Do I think Obi-Wan or Leia? Obi-Wan, I'm going to say a hard no. Obi-Wan's story leading up to A New Hope is supposed to be that he just stays on Tatooine and protects Luke. Now, the Kenobi show changed that a little bit, had him leave Tatooine for just a little bit to go rescue Leia, and that sort of was its own thing, and it was cool, and it was great, and it was whatever. That was still about 9 or 10 years before the events of this Andor Season 2. So it's been a while. And we know, of course, that Obi-Wan Kenobi is on Tatooine when A New Hope begins, where he should be. So I'm going to say no for Obi-Wan, but Leia, on the other hand, is a pretty interesting one. I'm going to open that one up to the class. Chat, what do we think? Is it possible that Princess Leia Organa will be in Andor Season 2? Darth Raccoon, what's up? What do we think? Yes, absolutely. Oh, interesting. Interesting. All right, I'm going to put up a poll in the chat for this, actually. Christopher, I appreciate the super chat. You deserve a poll. Okay, let's do this. People only watch the odd-numbered episodes. That would be very strange. Okay, let's pull this up, shall we? Do you think Leia will be in Andor Season 2? Now, we're going to get to... I'll leave it at that. Yes or no? Yes or no? Because we're going to get to why, well, I don't think so. But let's okay. Let's keep going. So, very strangely, for the first time ever, Disney has put Andor's first 3 episodes on YouTube for free. Kind of weird. I wonder if this will be a successful thing that happens more often. Like when Ahsoka Season 2 comes around, are they going to post the first 3 episodes of Ahsoka on YouTube? I don't know. Okay, but with that being said, let's keep going. Plus, Tony Gilroy and members of the cast are set to reunite on March 13th to discuss Season 1 for a rewatch event. The convention will be available across Disney+, Hulu, and on Star Wars YouTube and social channels. So this is pretty interesting. This Thursday, I believe at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, that's wrong. Math chat. It would be at 3 p.m. Yeah, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 12 p.m. Pacific Time. I did the math reversed. It's 3 hours behind Pacific Time. Okay, so it's 12 noon Pacific Time Thursday. Thursday, 12 p.m. Pacific Time and 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This Thursday, there's going to be a live discussion of Season 1 with the cast and crew. Tony Gilroy and members of the cast. This will be on Disney+, Hulu, and the YouTube channels and across social medias. So that'll be pretty cool to see. I don't know if they're rewatching the whole series because that would take days, but they're going to be watching a lot of it. At least the first episode, I'm going to guess. So with that being said, well, that'll be a big thing on Thursday. We have a live stream, of course, on Thursday that goes from usually 2 p.m. to 4-ish p.m. So maybe I don't know what we'll do. If it's on Star Wars' YouTube channel, we should be able to tune into it live. Huh. Okay. That actually works out perfectly. Lucasfilm, if you're watching, and we know that you are, thank you for doing this at the perfect time of the day so that we can watch it live together. That would be fantastic. Yeah. That would be fantastic. Okay. Yeah. Okay. For those hungry for some intel on what's to come next on the critically acclaimed series, we should really count at how many times we hear this. Because it's all over the trailers. They're really hyping up that the first season was critically acclaimed because it was critically acclaimed. Absolutely. Clearly. Okay. Tony Gilroy teased season 2 for us, discussing Luthen's struggle to control something that has grown beyond him. The weird sexual tension between Dedra and Cyril, nice. And what lies ahead for Mon Mothma, who has risked everything for this rebellion. Let's get into it.
This is where the fun begins.
Oh, we got another super chat. Hang on. Before we get to this, D. Vader with the very generous $5 holla. Damn, you guys are feeling generous today. I appreciate it quite a bit. Says, I don't see her appearing in the show, and I believe her appearance will stick to Rogue One. Bail, Vader, and Tarkin, though, would be cool, but it won't happen. Interesting. So you're not thinking to anybody, Vader. Nobody is what you're telling me. I don't know. That trailer seems to say something different, but we'll get to it. All right, but I appreciate the super chat. I really, really do. Now, without further ado, can I get back to this article? I've been so rudely interrupted. God. Entertainment Weekly asks the question, in the trailer for season 2, we see Orson Krennic and Jin? I don't think so. Are we going to be getting a season, Wait, what? Are we going to be getting in season 2? Is that just a tease for a run-up to season 1? Okay. I don't really fully understand the question. We don't see Jyn Erso in the trailer, but let's keep going, I guess. Tony's answer is, I'm not going to answer this question fully. We are not really teasing in our show, are we? We don't, or teasers in our show, sorry. Will we? We don't really tease very much. Everything that we are going to bring in to get to Rogue One is going to be organic. There's nothing we're bringing in just for fun or just because somebody wants to see it. This is very interesting. This is sort of the question to, will there be major cameos in this upcoming series? And I think this is the answer, and the answer is pretty much no to an extent. So let's talk about this. He's pretty much saying here, there's nothing that we are just bringing in here for fun. Everything that will be in there will be organic. Now, this is sort of always the question of fan service or not fan service in the Star Wars universe. And honestly, the question of, like, K-2SO has to be in the show. That makes sense. He has to be there. His story with Cassian is so important, and he has to be in the series. Other people from Rogue One don't have to show up in this second season. It would be fun if they show up, but there is also organic ways to do so. Krennic did not have to be in this second season. He really didn't. Now, maybe he did in some sort of way, like the script warrants it, but he didn't. There could have been an organic way to go around bringing Ben Mendelsohn back as Krennic. You didn't have to have him in there. He wasn't in season 1, and it definitely wasn't leading like he was going to be in season 2. However, there's organic ways to bring in characters like Jyn Erso, like Vader, like Palpatine, like Tarkin, like Bail Organa, like all these different people. There's easy ways to bring all these characters into this Andor second season. Absolutely. Hang on, we're getting memberships up the wazoo right here. What's going on? So, with that being said, do you think, while we welcome these members, do you think this is really him saying, no, we're done? No more fun cameos. We're not having Palpatine show up in the Senate in this second season. We're not having Vader in this. Or is this, like every other Star Wars creator that's come before, him tampering expectations? Him telling us one thing when the other is the truth? I think, and I put him in the thumbnail for today's live stream because I think so surely that he will appear in this second season. Palpatine is almost a must for season 2. And you can do it very organically because Mon Mothma blames the entire Gorman Massacre, which we'll talk about, on Palpatine. Yeah. Well, let's welcome some new members, shall we? Dave's Dark Side Depot. Dave, welcome to the people who love Star Wars. Welcome to the people who love Star Wars, Dave, at the Padawan level. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, Dave. And D. Vader. D. Welcome to the people who love Star Wars. Oh my God. Okay. I pressed the wrong button twice. I appreciate the memberships. I really do. We're getting very, very close to 100 members, I will say. That'll be a crazy milestone to achieve. But members, of course, get these cool things next to your names in the chat. Awesome, cool membership badges. You get members-only live streams, which we do every Sunday. You get members-only portion of the Discord. You get instant access to the giveaway at the end of every month. I mean, it's pretty great, so I appreciate it. All right, but now that I've been so rudely interrupted, let's get back to the topic at hand here. Cameos. Now, obviously, Tony Gilroy here is trying to get fans to temper their expectations, to not expect the big and crazy. However, he is not saying no. He's not saying, no, we won't see a character like a K-2SO or a Palpatine or a Vader. He's just saying it will be organic. Much like Vader and Leia being in Rogue One are organic, and even Bail Organa too. Those characters appearing in Rogue One didn't necessarily need to happen. Vader, maybe. Tarkin, maybe. But Bail Organa, no. Leia, definitely not. So, bringing in a character organically does not necessarily mean that crazy cameos are out the window. Let's put it that way. Because we already know that a bunch of Rogue One characters will be in it. And Raheem's World is telling us to trust him that Leia will be in it. Okay, we'll get to it. Yeah, it's not necessarily the case, but it's a possibility. So, the next question he's asked is, we did get a bit of Saw Gerrera in Season 1. Will he have a more expanded role in Season 2? And he says, yes. I'll say yes. So, that's the only response to that question. Saw Gerrera is already in the trailer more than he was in Season 1. Like, he has like one scene in the first season, and it's a great scene, or maybe it's two, but he has a great scene. But Saw's character is going to be far more important in Season 2 to this growing rebellion. Obviously, he plays a pretty big role in Rogue One, and we see him die in Rogue One. Spoiler alert. But I think we're going to get a lot of Saw Gerrera in Season 2. Like a lot. Yeah. Okay. So the next question is about Cyril and Dedra. These two right here. These two lovebirds right here. Okay. With Cyril and Dedra, audiences really respond to strange sexual tension between them. Did we really? Did we? Or did we just want to see them sit down and have a glass, a bowl full? Who eats cereal out of a glass, Mike? A bowl full of cereal. Cyril eating cereal with his new girlfriend, Dedra. Okay. But can you tell us where that might go? So we can respond to that. I responded to that. I don't want to spoil anything, but we are they're unresolved when we left them on Ferrix, aren't they? Is that goodbye? I doubt it. Why would I leave two fascinating characters like that behind? Interesting that he brings that up. Who's a fascinating character from Season 1 that we hope is not going to be left behind, Chet? What do we think? Seriously, Star Wars, what's up? Can anybody guess who I'm talking about here? Who's a fascinating character from Season 1 that we really hope does not get left behind? A plot point that needs to be answered in this second season. Mr. Beckham, what's up? How we doing? Really? Nobody? Yeah, there we go. His sister. Okay? Starship 66 got it. His sister. The whole first 3 episodes of this second season, the first season, sorry, of Andor, is all about his sister. Cassian trying to find his sister, the sister. She's still alive. He tracks her down to that, whatever you want to call it, bar, let's say. He tracks her down to that bar, but he never finds her. And then for the next 9 episodes, the sister's gone. Has nothing to do with any of that. It has nothing to do with the story at all. Pam Hill with a very generous $2 holla. I appreciate that, Pam. I really, really do. Says, could you do Maul? Oh, my Maul impression? Absolutely, Pam. I will do that for you right now. You know why? Because in my mind, I can feel him. Nobody. I appreciate it, Pam. Okay, but going back to the sister. So the sister's a very, very, very important piece to the story of Cassian Andor. Literally the catalyst for why he gets into this whole damn thing. The reason he becomes a rebel can really be traced back to his sister. So how is that not going to be explained in season 2? It's a fascinating character that he will definitely not be leaving behind. At least I think. I don't know. Maybe he forgot about it. Maybe the sister's just a forgotten mystery that will never be answered. But a man can dream. Okay, well, let's keep going. There's a lot of varieties of romance in the second season. Interesting. We got Bix, we got Cassian, we got Cyril, we got Dedra, we got Mon Mothma's daughter and whatever, but I guess that's it. Because it's over 5 years. So we're going to get to see sort of 5 different spots of their relationships. People are going to do what they do. It's also just fascinating, not just the variety of romance or varieties of love or varieties of relationships, but then what does this incoming tsunami of revolution and war do to people's relationships? Interesting. So you're taking sort of the love affairs of Dedra and Cyril or Bix and Cassian and putting that into a war story. Putting that into what could only end in likely one of them dying. Yes, here we go. It only took me 37 minutes to get into death predictions. Here we go. So, I think, honestly, when you look at all these different relationships, Bix and Cassian, Cyril and Dedra, at least one of each is going to die. Yeah. Cassian, of course, is not going to die. We know he makes it to Rogue One. We know he ends up dying in Rogue One. But Bix is not in Rogue One. So the question has to be raised, do you think that Bix is going to die in season 2? Do we think she's working for the Empire? Bix? I don't think so. I hope not. I hope not. Everyone's going to die? Well, I mean, eventually. Yeah. Eventually. Marva told him to forget about his sister. She's gone? Well, Cole, yes and no. I don't know about that, though. Maybe the sister was killed by the Empire, which pushes Andor deeper into the rebellion. See, that would be, I'd be okay with that. That's at least an explanation. That's at least an explanation. Yeah. A lot of death going on. Oh, yeah. Season 2 is going to be a whole lot of deaths. I mean, Luthen, probably Bix, probably Cyril, probably Dedra, probably Brazos, probably B2, probably a bunch of random people on Ghorman. Like, you need to make a new channel called A Guy Who Loves Death Predictions. That's what this one is. Yep. That's the secret code name to this one. Absolutely. What if Dedra and Cassian get married? Dedra and oh my God. What if Vader kills Dedra? That would be insane. Yes, Bix is out. Next question. Okay. Yeah. Let's pull it up. I want to pull this one up. Let's pull it up. Wow. Wait. Whoa. Hang on. Wait a second. This poll is way closer than I thought it was going to be. Do you think that Leia will be in Andor Season 2? 52% of you said no. 48% said yes. That's crazy. Interesting. I got to keep a reminder of that one because that's way closer than it should be. Okay. Do you think Bix will die in season 2? Yes or no? Is Bix making it through this second season? Probably not, but you tell me. Ron, what's up, says, how violent do you think this season will be? Very. Very. I mean, season 1 was more violent than your usual Star Wars project. You look at, like, I mean, we just watched the Aldani arc. They all die. Like, it's pretty dark. Nemec gets his legs crushed. He's, like, paralyzed, and they make their way out, and then he dies. He literally shoots Skeen right in the head. He died. Like, there's a lot of death going on, and it's pretty violent, to say the least. I think season 2 might go even more over the top than that. Like, the Gorman Massacre is thousands of innocent pedestrians just dying like that. Now, granted, Star Wars has not been, I guess, it hasn't had a lack of violence. The first movie blows up Alderaan in like the first 40 minutes. So billions of people die right then and there. So I guess it's not that Star Wars lacks violence, but I think Cassian's going to go through some pretty violent stuff. The Gorman Massacre being probably the biggest one of them. But a lot of his friends are going to die too. And that's going to be pretty tragic. Yeah. We are told we were going to cry. Yes, we'll get to that in a second. Tony Gilroy says if you don't cry, then you have no heart, pretty much. Yeah, so we'll get to that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's keep going. So, what happens to these relationships when a tsunami of revolution and war comes into it? Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. So the next question asked is, Marva clearly cast a long shadow from beyond the grave in season 1's finale. How much of her memory looms large in this second season? So Marva, of course, died in season 1, and that's the whole final arc is her great hologram message from her monologue. I wonder how many monologues we'll get in season 2. But having said that, here's his answer. She's always with him, Cassian, that is. Ferrix is always with Bix. Wilman, Cassian, and Brazos. Of course, it's their home planet, or I guess all but Cassian's. It's with them all the time. Marva carries forward as a fundamental piece of who he is and what he becomes. It's after listening to her speech that leads him to go to Luthen and say, look, man, either kill me or take me in. So she's ever present. So even though Marva's not going to be in season 2, obviously, Force Ghost Marva. No, even though Marva is not going to be in season 2, what she did at the end of season 1, that speech that she gave was so meaningful to all these different characters in different ways that's the real reason that Cassian joins the rebellion. Real reason he goes to Luthen and says, look, kill me or take me in. That's sort of the gist of the whole thing. Yeah. So the next question is K-2SO related. Here we go. Fans were excited to see K-2SO back in action in the trailer. What can you tease about his return? I fully know how long you've waited for this, obviously. How many years has it been since Rogue One? 9 years. It's been 9 years since Rogue One. That's kind of crazy. I know how long you've waited. I have my reasons for doing it, okay? They were really good narrative reasons, and I know that everybody's been waiting. So we've done our best to make the most of it. I hope it passes muster. Okay? So what's interesting about this is he says there's a really good narrative reason as to why we haven't seen K-2SO yet. Because K2 could have been in season 1. I mean, easily. But there's a big narrative reason as to why he's not. I don't know what that could possibly mean. I mean, when you look at season 2, we know so little about it. Really, we think we do. Like, we have this crazy notion that we know all the stuff that's going to happen in season 2. The Gorman Massacre, yeah, woohoo. Mon Mothma's daughter's wedding, sure. Fantastic. That's great. K-2SO is one of the main characters of the second season. He's going to be. And his relationship with Cassian's so damn important. and yet we don't see them together once in the trailers. Seems a little weird. Seems like something's not really adding up there. Maybe that's just me. However, Tony puts it very bluntly here. There's a good narrative reason as to why we haven't seen that. And I think a lot of this second season is going to be revolving around Cassian and K2's relationship. And that's not seen at all in the trailers. I don't know. It's pretty interesting. Howrunner Base says it means that B2 is still kicking around. They obviously need him to die and become K2. Well, no, I think that theory's sort of been thrown out the window. The whole K2 is B2 thing. Their personalities and relationships, personalities are just so vastly different. Yeah. When is Andor getting released? April 22nd. April 22nd is the premiere. Yeah. I think B2 is going to die, though. I mean, how can a droid die? I think B2 is going to blow up. I don't know. He's going to die. I think this is going to be a very sad season. Like a lot of our favorite characters, B2, Luthen, Bix, they're all going to die. Okay? And that's just me being upbeat and positive about it, okay? Yeah. All right, but let's keep going. So K2 is going to have a huge and very important role in this second season. Mon Mothma had to walk this incredibly delicate line in season 1. Obviously, by A New Hope, she's gone public. And by that, they mean she's gone public in terms of being a rebel and what she's doing. So what might we see from her in this second season? So, canonically, there's the moment where she leaves the Senate. And that is our timeline. That's very important. So we are going to see her leave the Senate, her leave Coruscant. And again, I bring up this crazy photo here. Nope, not that one. This one. Is this her being escorted out or being arrested or like what's going on here? I could honestly see her husband like turning on her or something like that because he was sort of a douche in the first season. But this is going to be crazy. Like, she's the funds for the rebellion. She's marrying off her daughter to get more funds for the rebellion. So her getting caught is going to be or her leaving the Senate, I guess, is going to be very, very important. And how does the rebellion get funding after that and all this other stuff? It's going to be crazy. Okay. But that's the timeline we're in. So we're definitely dealing with that. But I will say, of all the characters in this show, of all the hellacious things that people go through, that sounds horrible, and all the difficulties and hardships, I don't think anybody has a harder road than she does. Because she has to do everything that everybody else does with all the tension, fear, and anxiety that she has to do it in public. So she has to deal with all of this stuff that Luthen deals with, all the stuff that everybody else is dealing with, but she has to do it as a senator on the capital planet of the bad guys, where at any moment she could get captured, get caught, get arrested, get killed, get any of this stuff. So she's really gets the hardest, or the shit end of the stick, I guess. And she really gets the hardest role here. But getting to see her go through that. Like, Mon Mothma is a main character in season 1. She's not probably like the main, obviously she's not the main character. The show is called Andor, but she's a main character in season 1, but she's not like as big a role as Luthen or Cassian or even Bix. I think her role will be even bigger in season 2. Like, she's going to be in every episode. She wasn't even in the first 3 of season 1. And she'll be a huge, huge role. But he continues. She has nowhere to hide, and this season just ramps up that to the almost unbearable point. What Genevieve is going to do this second season, when we realized in the first season what a brilliant actress she was, and that we hadn't found the limits of what she could do yet. Of course, that Genevieve being the actress who plays Mon Mothma right there. We still haven't found them, but the opportunity, I'm guessing that's supposed to say the opportunity to write for her and write for the story, her story large, was very important to me for this second season. So obviously she's going to have a huge role with the whole Gorman Massacre outbreak and all that stuff. But I do think she's going to go face to face with Palpatine. Maybe not directly face to face, but Palpatine's going to be involved very, very muchly in this second season. Absolutely. I could see Mon Mothma's daughter turning her in. Holy crap, Jeannie, that would be insane. That would be insane. Yeah. Well, let's keep going. Luthen, here we go. Luthen's very committed to the rebellion, but he also is a slippery character. How much should we trust him going into season 2? Interesting. Questioning the trust of Luthen. Now, to me, Luthen, of all characters, is the most likely to die. There is no way, because he's a leader of the rebellion. He's probably the leader of the rebellion right now, and he's given everything to this rebellion. So I don't see a world where he just steps back and goes into hiding or anything other than death, because that's how he's going to end with the rebellion. However, bringing his trust into this is pretty interesting. So let's keep going. So Tony describes him as a CEO of a startup. Fascinating. Some guy who built a business in his garage for 15 years. He built the revolution in his garage. He and Clea, that is. Then in Aldhani in season 1, they went public. That was sort of the big deal of the Aldhani attack in the first season. And now they are out there. Now, for the next 4 years, how do you scale up your company? Interesting. So we're talking about the rebellion against the Galactic Empire as a startup company. Where the hell was I? Oh, how do you scale up your company? It's multinational. Okay, English, Mike. Multinational. How do you scale up your little business that was so successful in your garage and build it out? And if your business is based off of secrecy and paranoia, how hard is that to do? And how well are you going to play with others? Interesting. This was sort of teased out a little bit in the first season with his relationship with Saw Gerrera and his lack there of ability to work with him. And I think that will be more explored in season 2, especially with Saw Gerrera having a big role in it. But is Luthen's inability to work with others going to be a problem and maybe actually be his downfall? That'll be pretty interesting. Oh, we got a super chat. Hang on. 50 Thunder with a very generous $5 holla. I appreciate that. It says Mon Mothma's driver is the untrustworthy one, in my opinion. Loving the chat today. I appreciate that, 50 Thunder. I really, really do. Yeah, Mon Mothma's driver, of course, was replaced at the beginning of season 1 and is clearly not trustworthy. But is he going to rat her out? Is she going to give him anything to rat out? That's sort of the big question. Is Mon Mothma going to slip up? Or is Luthen going to slip up? I don't know. I could see Saw Gerrera killing Luthen. Luthen dying on his own sword would be pretty wild, too. I don't know. But now that I've been so rudely interrupted, I appreciate it, 50 Thunder. All right, let's get back to this. So, with all the paranoias and secrecy of building that small startup, well then, where does that lead to when the rebellion becomes very, very large? Is Luthen going to be able to trust the other people around him and welcoming to their ideas, as they put it? Will he be able to play well with others? Much like a Tony Starkish kind of guy. Those English are going to function or friction for him, create friction for him in this second half. He has one speed, and that is to make it all happen. He'd do anything for the revolution. Anything. Again, I think this is sort of backing the idea that he's going to die for this cause. Like, Luthen is such a great character, my favorite character from season 1, and I assume he will be for season 2 as well. But I think he's going to go out with a bang. Like, whatever he intends to do, he's going to do it, and it might lead to his downfall and or death. Yeah. Another super chat. Hang on. You guys are feeling extra generous today. David with the very generous $2 holla. I appreciate that. Says Luthen gets betrayed by Saw and by Saw or the Alliance as a liability. I could see that. Like he tries to go too hard on whatever he's doing, and then they have to sort of cut him off. I could definitely see Saw killing him, though. The whole relationship between him and Saw is an interesting one. Yeah. And let's not forget, Saw Gerrera killed Tech. Never forget. Okay. But he will literally do anything for this revolution. And that's what I think is going to eventually be his downfall. Okay. Cyril has this give and take between his all-consuming desire to prove himself and advance within the Empire, and his very real experience of seeing the human impact of his actions. True. Is that going to continue throughout season 2, or will we see him swinging more in one direction? So this is pretty interesting because Cyril, when you really watch season 1, Cyril has a very important role in the first 3 episodes. He sort of makes a big mistake and tries to go after Cassian by himself, and then he eventually ends up eating cereal with his mom. And that's about it. For the next 6 or 7 episodes, that's what he's doing. He's just hanging out, talking to his mom, eating cereal, doing all that. It's not until the very end when he becomes a key role again, and he saves Dedra, of course, as we know, in the very final moments of the season. But what we're going to see from our boy Cyril in season 2, because here's the deal. He is on Ghorman during the massacre. We see that in the trailer. So how's that going to play? Because Cassian's there too. So here's what Tony had to say. He's a fascinating character because he knows what the rules are, and he wants the rules to be followed. He wants to belong in the worst way. So what happens when the first embrace comes from the fascists, is that where you go? Or what if your embrace is by somebody else? Where do you go? He's going to be buffeted by all things around him. Okay, that we're in the first part of the question. Interesting. Oh, advance within the Empire. Okay. So he's going to be, I guess, given the opportunity to advance within the Empire. But what he says here is when he's got his first embrace by the fascists, is that where you go? What if the embrace is by someone else? Is he referring to Dedra here? Like, is he just going to fall in love with Dedra as a person rather than the Empire itself? Or somebody brought up an interesting point the other day in a live stream, and I haven't been able to shake it. Is it possible that a character like Cyril could turn to the light side? Now, I guess what I mean by that is, like, is it possible that he sees the sort of badness of the Empire? Because he's not like a bad guy. When you look at Dedra, you look at Krennic, you look at Tarkin, those are like bad guys. Like, you look at them and they're like evil, 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 evil. When you look at Cyril, it's trying to follow the rules. That's pretty much what Tony's saying here. He's trying to follow the rules. But if those rules, like the Empire, are really, really, really bad, and especially because he's at the Gorman Massacre, like he's there. Let me pull up this trailer so I can show you what I'm talking about. Let's skip ahead here. Where's our boy Cyril? Here we go. He's on Ghorman here. This is Ghorman. This is also Ghorman. So he's on Ghorman here. So he's going to watch as the Empire slaughters thousands of innocent civilians. If that's not enough to push him over the edge to sort of be like, okay, the Empire might not be the good guys here. The Empire might not be the good. Okay. As a fan perspective, we know that the Empire is not the good guys. You got to look at it from an in-world perspective, from Cyril's perspective, because the Empire is created by Palpatine as a protection service to the rest of the galaxy, pretty much. The Jedi go rogue and he kills them all, and he creates the Empire as a safe and secure galaxy. So to the people, most of the people who aren't rebels, they see the Empire as security, as helpful. And that's how Cyril sees it now, and that's why he's a part of the Empire and trying to grow in the ranks. But if he sees them slaughter thousands of innocent people in this second season, that might make him think differently about this whole Empire thing. And it might be the case that he could turn. I mean, anybody could turn after seeing that. If you ever trusted the Empire after watching him slaughter innocent people, you'd probably not trust him anymore. Probably not. But that's just me. Who are the two people behind the robots? I have no idea. I don't think we're supposed to know who those people are. We've never seen them before. Do you think one of these is K-2SO? It's possible. Whoops, wrong button. Sorry, chat. Okay. Yeah. Mike says, I believe Cyril witnesses the Gorman Massacre, then changes sides. Him running out on that building in shock. I believe that's the moment he realizes the Empire is evil. Him running out of the building in shock. I don't know what scene you're referring to here. I don't know. I could see it, though. I could definitely see him turning to the light. But tell me in the chat, should we pull it up? Should we pull this up? All right, let's pull it up. We're pulling it up, chat. Wow. By the way, you all think Bix is going to die. That's great. Do you think Bix will die in season 2? Pretty much 88% of you guys said yes. Okay. Let's do this. Do you think, I agree with that, Jessica. Do you think Cyril will turn to the light in season 2? Yes or no? Do you think it will leave the Empire and turn to the light? The mysterious Uncle Harlow could be down with the rebellion and may cause Cyril to change his mind on things. I don't know. I don't know if Uncle Harlow is going to play a big role in season 2, but maybe. Yeah. It would almost be like a, oh my God, Chad, I can't remember his name. And I call myself a Rebels fan. What the hell's his name? Agent. Who's the guy in Rebels who turns to the rebellion from the Empire? Agent. My brain is broken, chat. What the hell's his name? This is killing me. Oh my God. Agent Callus. Thank you. Holy sh! I thought my brain was going to explode there. Agent Callus. Thank you, chat. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Agent Callus, of course. Yes, thank you. Oh, no. Callus? Oh, okay. Callus. Yeah, of course. Callus. Duh. Of course. Duh.
Incorrect.
Agent Callus, of course. Okay. Yeah. Much like Agent Callus turns to the rebellion in Rebels, we could see something similar happen with a character like Cyril. David with a very generous $2 holla yet again. I appreciate that. David says, will Tony Gilroy retcon the Massacre or Star Destroyer? What? Will Tony Gilroy retcon the Massacre or Star Destroyer? I don't understand the question. I apologize. Okay. Cyril helps reprogram K2. Now that would be wild. Talk about the narrative thing that you're waiting to tell. If K-2SO is reprogrammed by Cyril as he turns to the light, that's an incredible theory. Hang on, let's take a look at this. So this is Cyril in this room full of K2 units. This is on Ghorman. What if he watches the Gorman Massacre happen, and then in order for him to escape, he reprograms one of these droids, and that's K-2SO. So the best friend of Cassian is actually the droid that got reprogrammed by the guy who was hunting him down for the entirety of season 1. That's crazy. His best friend is the droid who got reprogrammed by the guy who was hunting him down the entire first season. That's genius writing if I've ever heard it. And if that's right, huge pat on the back. Who even said that? Hang on, chat. I got to give credit where credit is due. Who is this? Who called this? Who sniped this? Another Mike who loves Star Wars. Incredible. That would be insane. That would be insane. I love that theory. That is so good. Now that's good storytelling. If that's true, that's good storytelling. Absolutely. Uncle Harlow could be Tarkin. I doubt it, but that would be wild. Harlow is Krennic. Again, would be wild. Yeah. In the books, Tarkin lands a Star Destroyer on the pedestrians in the Gorman Massacre. Yes, we talked about this last stream, how he crushes them with his ship. Are you asking if I think that will still happen? I mean, maybe. Well, is that... Now, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Is that the only thing that happens in the Gorman Massacre? Because the stormtroopers still kill the pedestrians. That's just something else that happens during the massacre. Because when we look at what we see in the trailer, when you look at what we see from the Gorman Massacre, that is, you see the courtyard. Where is it? Where is it? So you see like this. You see the courtyard here. I don't think you can land a Star Destroyer here. I just don't think so. Like, you can't fit a Star Destroyer in this little courtyard area. So I think this is going to be them slaughtering them, and then somewhere else is where they'll be landing the Star Destroyer. But maybe, I don't know. It just looks too small in here just to land a Star Destroyer. I wonder if they're going to go that grim, though. Like, to see people get crushed by a Star Destroyer would be insane. So I really don't know if they're going to do that. I mean, maybe they can mention it. But, yeah. I feel like they'll show the massacre happen, and then in the Senate, they'll have Mon Mothma explain that a Star Destroyer crushed the people. Because that's a little bit violent. Even for Andor, that's pretty violent. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, the people getting crushed by a Star Destroyer would be a little crazy. Yeah. I mean, crazy, I guess, is an understatement there. Ugh. Can I get some good cups full of orders in the chat, please? Bumpa. Already been retconned to a degree. Legends occurrence took place earlier in the Empire, 18 BBY. Really? I did not know that. I did not know that, Chad. Looks like the shape of the city in the special work could work. Look at the shape of the city in the special look. Okay, let's see. I think I know exactly the scene you're talking about. This one. So where is he going to land the Star Destroyer at? Where's he going to land it at? On the people? Look at all those good cups full of orders. Holy crap. That's a lot. Holy shit. That's a lot of good. Holy crap. That's crazy. Okay. I appreciate it, guys. I really do. Yeah, I don't really know where he'd be landing that Star Destroyer. That'd be insane. If we actually saw that happen, it would be so crazy. Visually, it would just be insane. Oh my God. Hang on. Another super chat? You guys are feeling extra generous today. I appreciate it. Darth Plagueis lives with a $10. Holy crap. Says, we appreciate all you do, Mike. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Says, what? But what do you think the craziest cameo for Andor Season 2 would be? Much love to you in the chat. First of all, I appreciate that. That's insanely generous. And second of all, the craziest cameo. Interesting. I don't know. Let's open that up to the chat. Craziest cameo. Now, within reason, of course, within reason. Craziest cameo for season 2. Honestly, I'm thinking Vader or Palpatine. Like, it's not that crazy. It's so crazy that it might just happen, you know? Because Vader's, of course, in Rogue One. Palpatine has this very big deal going on here with Mon Mothma. I don't know. I mean, you could talk about Bail Organa, and that seems likely because you're going to Yavin 4. I think Yavin 4 and the Gorman Massacre allow major cameos. Like, major cameos. It allows you to see characters like, with Yavin, Bail Organa, Harrison Dula with the Ghost, Chopper, maybe even some other Ghost crew members. But with the Gorman Massacre, like we just talked about, Tarkin's Star Destroyer, Tarkin's involvement with that he could easily be in this show. Vader is almost less likely than Palpatine at this point because Palpatine is on Coruscant and Mon Mothma's coming after him directly. So there's a lot of different people you could see. But my craziest one would probably be Palpatine. It would be craziest to see him. It's not craziest that he would be there. But if we're talking really crazy, like shouldn't be there but might be there, Cal Kestis. I mean, Cal Kestis I've been waiting for him to come to live action for so long, but that'd be great. 50 Thunder with the $2 hollow says, good comes follow orders. I appreciate that. Oh, we got another member? Holy crap. Jacob Reyes. Jacob, welcome to the people who love Star Wars. Welcome to the people who love Star Wars. Jacob at the Padawan level. I appreciate that quite a bit. All right. Is Kanan already dead by now? Well, that's the weird part, is this show takes place over 4 years. So the possibility of seeing a cameo in the earlier part of the episodes, or earlier part of the season, like a Kanan Jarrus, is, I guess, a possibility because he's not dead yet. But towards the end, he is. I don't know. Kanan seems pretty tough. I'd love a scene of Vader, Palpatine, Galen, Krennic, and Tarkin talking about the Death Star plans. That would be insane. That'd be insane. That you bring up a great point, though, Galen Erso. Because Jyn Erso, of course, is on the thumbnail of this video. But Galen Erso, her dad, is an interesting one. Is it possible that we could be seeing Galen? The one reason I think you could is because Cassian knows who he is. Cassian knows who Galen Erso is at the beginning, in the opening scene of Rogue One. When he's in that alleyway and he's talking to the guy with one arm. He knows who Galen is. So that would mean that somehow, some way, somewhere along the line, he finds out who Galen is. Jyn Erso, I think, is a little bit more difficult. I think she could be mentioned. The big thing that fans have keep bringing up is that she works for Saw Gerrera. So could we see a little bit younger version of Jyn in this second season? Maybe. I think it's probably less likely, but yeah. Freddie Prinze will not be back. Yeah, no, he's been very vocal about not returning, but hey, money talks, you know? Money talks. Jacob says, thanks. Wish I could give more. This content is awesome. Live streams are so cool, Mike. Mike is so real. Well, thank you, Jacob. I appreciate that quite a bit. Hey, anything is appreciated. Don't you worry about it. That's why these live streams are free, much like Andor season 1, episode 1, 2, and 3 on YouTube now, apparently. Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Cal Kestis would be great. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I've been waiting for this my whole life. But no. Abeloth, Boba Fett. Oh my God. Those are some crazy ones. Saw sort of raised her after the Empire took her dad. Exactly. So that's the possibility of seeing Jyn Erso. But I don't know. What if we saw the two brothers in the same scene, Thrawn and Galen? That would be pretty wild. What Mike is talking about here is because the actor who plays Thrawn is Lars Mikkelsen, and his brother plays Galen Erso. Mads Mikkelsen. Sorry, Mads. Mads and Lars are both brothers in real life, and they both play characters in Star Wars. Indeed. Cal makes the most sense. I don't know about that. Cal Kestis showing up in this show would be insane. Like, it would be kind of out of place. Yeah. D. Vader with another $2 holly. You're absolutely insane. I appreciate it. It says, what if the final episode is the start of Rogue One? Well, that's sort of what it's supposed to be. Like, it leads directly into that opening scene with Cassian in that alleyway with the one-armed guy. That's his name. Yeah, one-armed guy. That's how it's supposed to work. Like, we're leading up to where Cassian is at the beginning of that movie. So honestly, I kind of want to go back and rewatch the beginning of Rogue One just to see where we end off, you know? See where it really is leading to. Because I know the opening scene is Galen and a young Jin as Galen gets taken away from his family. His wife dies, and Jin gets taken away from by Saw. Then it skips to the future, where Jin is now a prisoner, or whatever she is, as she escapes. And then we get the opening scene of Cassian in that alleyway with the one-armed guy as he brutally just murders him in cold blood. Yeah. So it'll be interesting. It would be wild to see a scene with Galen put in. Well, the reason I think Galen Erso is a possibility here is because in the first trailer that we got for Andor Season 2, we see this. We see. Maybe we don't see it. We do see it. I know we do. I just don't know where it is. Hang on, Jeff. Right. I mean, Galen Erso was in charge of building this. Like, this was his baby. Like, this is him. So, I mean, he's got to be somewhere around. Who's Krennic talking to on this Star Destroyer right now? Like, it could be Krennic. I mean, it could be not Krennic. Sorry, it could be Galen. Absolutely. I don't know, chat. What do we think? Will we see Galen Erso in Season 2? Yes or no? What do we think? I think it's a strong likelihood. Yeah. It'd be cool. Yeah. A name drop. It could just be a name drop. Even for Jin, it could just be a name drop. Yeah. For sure. Well, the fact here is this scene is very important. Krennic looking at the Death Star. I know the Death Star is going to play a big role in the second season. It's more of a question of why. Why does the Death Star play a big role in Andor Season 2 if Cassian can never know that it exists, that the Rebels can't even know that it exists? Until Rogue One, they have no idea what this planet-killing weapon is. The Empire keeps it a secret until that movie. So we're only getting the Empire's perspective from all this, pretty much. Interesting. We do have another super chat. Hang on. The Death Star's relevance is almost like a looming threat in the background, but it could give us the opportunity to see characters like Galen Erso, like Krennic, like Vader, like Tarkin, and we know, of course, Krennic's going to be in it. D. Vader with another very generous $2 holla. I appreciate that. Says, with the time jump, Jin could appear in Season 2. I mean, the question becomes, how connected are we making this to Rogue One? How many characters from that movie are going to be in this show? We know for a fact that one of those pilots, I forget what his name is now. Somebody help me on the chat. But he's going to be in the show. Kino Loy. That's a good question. I don't know if Kino Loy will be in this. I don't know. Adam, what's up? No worries. No worries. Okay, chat. I know I don't usually leave the streams, but I really have to go pee. So I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll be right back in 2 seconds. I'll leave you with this question. And it's a big one. I'll leave you with this. One, yes, I do have ears. It's crazy, I know. You never see my ears. It's crazy. I have ears. It's wild. Okay. But will Vader be in Andor season 2? Andor season 2 we're talking about today, right? Andor season 2? Oh, yeah. Andor. You think Darth Vader will be in season 2 along with Kino Loy? Why not? Do both. I'll be right I'm back.
Hello there.
Okay. So, where were we? Kino Loy and Vader? Okay. Yeah. You don't think Vader will be in season 2? Okay. So here's the deal. Lord Vader being in Andor season 2 seems to me to be a very, very far-fetched idea. Like I mentioned before, Palpatine is so much more likely because of his connection to the Senate and Coruscant and Mon Mothma and that whole story that's being told in season 2. Tarkin is even far more connected to the Death Star than Vader is, and to Krennic as well. The only likelihood of seeing Vader would be if he's hunting down rebels. Now, I don't think that's what's going to happen. I don't think he's going to. I don't think he's going to be at any sort of battle or anything like that. But I don't know. Hi, Hodge. What's up? How we doing? Andy Serkis is confirmed to come back for season 2. I put the article in the Discord. Okay, let's talk about this because Kino Loy is a pretty interesting one, and I appreciate that, Fearless. Yeah, let's do this. David with the very generous $2 holla says, my dream, we see Vader attack Saw Gerrera. Interesting. Yeah, again, the only reason we would see Vader would be if he is attacking a rebel cell or something like that, because he wouldn't really be involved in anything else. He wouldn't be on Coruscant. All right, let's talk about this. So, this is the article that was sent. Andor Season 2 features unexpected return of Andy Serkis's Kino Loy. Let's zoom in one more time on this. Hang on. That's better. A fan favorite character from Andor Season 1 is confirmed to return for the second and final season. Andy Serkis's Kino Loy. Kino was a part of Andor Season 1's prison arc as one of the floor managers of Narkina 5. Even though Kino led the rebellion against the Empire alongside of Diego Luna's Cassian Andor as the prisoners escaped their harsh confinement in Andor Season 1's most thrilling arc. Arguable, but yes. Despite the ambiguous ending of Kino Loy in Andor Season 1, actor Andy Serkis has confirmed his return for the story of Andor Season 2 via an interview with E.T. Online. After escaping Narkina 5's prison, Kino Loy heartbreakingly reveals that he could not swim, of course, and Serkis now being questioned about the character's potential future. So, as he said this, if Kino jumped, that would be the end of him, but he would be out of the picture, but no. Hang on, read full article. Okay. If Kino jumped, that would be it. That would be the end of it. But he would be out of the picture. But no, he's alive. He's working out his next move. It's incredibly gratifying to know that the writing resonated, but the fact that people are responding and are emotionally engaged in these characters in every single one is very well written and complex. It means something. Interesting. These comments from Serkis seem to point towards a return of Kino Loy in season 2, stating that he is undoubtedly alive and is planning his next move, meaning the head writer, Tony Gilroy, must be planning for the character in the second season of Andor, which is set to release, oh my god, this is an old article, on Disney Plus in 2024. That didn't happen. Interesting. So it's sort of like left up in the open here. Andy's very certain that he's still alive and planning his next move. But does that mean he'll be in season 2? I don't know. He got some swimming lessons? That's a possibility. Yeah. Wasn't Vader captured and taken to Dantooine in The Force Unleashed? Maybe. I don't recall. So Screen Rant's always on drugs. Well, no, that's a direct quote from him. So let's talk about this. Cannibal the Dragon, what's up? Oh, we got to end this poll. Let's end this poll and start up a new one. So, by the way, do you guys think Cyril will turn to the light in season 2? 60% of you said yes. Holy crap. Okay. Interesting. Do you think Kino Loy will be in Andor season 2? Now, if he is, again, it would mean even more so that we know nothing about the second season. Other than the massacre, other than Mon Mothma's daughter's wedding, that's it. Because if we're talking about the possibility of seeing Krennic, the Death Star, that whole side of things with possibly Palpatine and Tarkin and all that crazy stuff, you're seeing K-2SO turn or get reprogrammed by maybe Cyril or whoever and become best friends with Cassian. Now you're telling me that you could see a whole arc, or at least an explanation, as to what happens with Kino Loy? We really have no idea what this show's about, if that's the case. If this is truly the case, Kino Loy is going to be in this series. Then we have not a clue what this show is about. We know the beginning is Andor Season 1. We know the ending is Rogue One. And that's about it. That's insane. And by the way, 87% of you, 87, say yes, he will be in season 2. That's crazy. What kind of role is he going to play in that? I don't know. How Runner Base says, you don't have a stellar monologue like Kino Loy and then not be able to swim as your exit of the show. I mean, I guess, but his I can't swim line is so iconic and so brutal because you feel it. You feel it like, oh crap, he's dead. Everybody else has a chance to escape here, but he is dead. Could be a flashback. I don't know. They did the whole flashback thing for the first 3 episodes, but I don't think they will. Hope he teams up with Cassian to fight the Empire. Well, that would be the only likelihood here, that Kino joins the rebellion in some sort of way. Honestly, Kino strikes me as a Saw Gerrera type. A little bit of a Saw Gerrera follower type. But I don't know. I have no idea. It'd be wild. But Andy Serkis seems to think that his character is definitely not dead. And he's planning his next moves, whatever the hell that means. Yeah. It'd be so wild. Okay. Crazily enough, we are still not done with this article, so let's keep reading. I know, right? Let's keep going. So we got completely off topic here with the whole Cyril thing question, but the next one is, there's also the influence of his mother, which is particularly Shakespearean. Will she continue to exert that control? This is Cyril's mom that they're talking about here. There will be some Edie there. Oh, is that her name? Edie? That's all I'm going to say. I'm happy to be a big Edie fan. Well, we know that Edie's going to be there. I didn't even know her name was Edie. But Cyril's mom will be in the show. She's in the trailer. I mean, can't get much more than that. All right. Bix, here we go. Bix is going to die. But Bix was a big part of this without even fully understanding what she was involved with. What lies ahead for her? Does she have a greater understanding now of what's at stake? Bix is a rebel in the first season without knowing that she's a rebel. You know? She's really just like helping the cause without even knowing it to an extent. So Tony's response to that is, it's another huge epic journey for her huge epic journey. Nice. We talked about sacrifice. Oh no. What do you sacrifice on the altar of something that's grown to be really important? What if two really important things come at you at the same time? What if love and revolution comes at you at the same time and they don't play well together? What do? That'll be the friction for her. That'll be the friction for her? Okay, so when I was reading this, what if love and revolution come at you at the same time? I was thinking Cassian with Bix and revolution, but he's talking about Bix, the love for Andor and the revolution. That'll be the friction for her. So what does she choose? What does she do when they don't play well together? Honestly, this makes me think that Bix might survive. I know I just said that Bix is going to die, but I think this might mean that Bix is going to survive and she just leaves the fight. She goes off into hiding or something. Bix will be his sister? No. No, we're not doing that again. This is not the original trilogy. This is not Luke and Leia. No. No. I don't know. Bix, I mean, she's a character because Luthen has to die. To me, Luthen just has to die. But Bix is a character that could, in theory, survive. In theory. I don't know. Tell me in the chat. Okay. Last season, we saw Cassian transform from a complete mercenary to a rebel. How will that evolve? How will that evolution continue? So Tony says, he speaks the truth there at the end of the season. Take me in, as he says to Luthen. So when we meet him, it's a year later. Okay, that's pretty interesting. I didn't really know that. So the first 3 episodes will be a year later than the last arc. Yeah. So we're a year later. And that he's all in now. So a year after he sort of tells Luthen, take me in and I'll be a rebel forever. Now we're a year later and he's fully involved in the rebellion. Luthen is a really great talent scout, a great talent agent and teacher as well. Cassian's utility, how far he can go, we know how far he is going in Rogue One. Of course, he's still alive by then. But by the time he gets to Rogue One, he can do pretty much anything. He's a master. He's the GOAT. He's a master. So there'll be espionage, there'll be leadership. There'll be all kinds of new educational tests for him along the way. And that'll be also challenge his relationship with Luthen and everyone else. Interesting. So he becomes a leader, like Luthen says in the trailer. Be a leader. And that's how we see him in Rogue One. He's a leader of the rebellion, and he's sort of a master of his craft by the time of Rogue One. But at the end of Andor Season 1, he's not. He has just joined the rebellion. So over the course of these 4 years of Andor Season 2, we're going to get to see him learn all these things, learn how to do all these things. And as he says, this will also challenge his relationship with Luthen and everyone else. I wonder how that is. Interesting. I think Luthen sells him out for cover. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay. But he goes on to say, he has a lot of things to learn to be the guy that we're going to see him in Rogue, who is all singing, all dancing, ultimate war fighter, all that stuff. The person that the Council of Yavin is willing to send on the most important mission they have. To get to that point, he still has a lot to learn. That's very true. The most important mission they ever have. There you go. So that's the whole interview with Entertainment Weekly. It doesn't go into Tony Gilroy being done with Star Wars. Not yet. We'll get to it. But it does answer a ton of questions about all these different characters and how important Mon Mothma is going to be, etc. However, he talks about the cameos and how I think this is probably the most important piece of the interview. And we're going to scroll all the way back up to it. He talks about the cameos and possibly seeing other characters like Krennic and Jyn Erso, etc. And his response still is that they don't want to force anything. It needs to be organic, and there is nothing that will be brought in just for fun. Everything will have its own purpose to the story, organic purpose to the story. And that leads me to believe that we can still see crazy cameos like a Palpatine, like a Jyn Erso, maybe, like a Galen Erso, like a Hera Syndulla, or at least a mention of the ghost on Yavin 4 or whatever. And it can feel organic. Because we're already getting Krennic, we're already getting K-2SO. That's been confirmed. It's in the trailer, it's in the show. But with the Gorman Massacre, with Mon Mothma, Palpatine is highly likely. Highly likely. But with that being said, let's get to why Tony Gilroy is done with Star Wars. He's done. He's out of there. No more Tony Gilroy Star Wars. Even though Star Wars fans really, really wanted it, he's done. So let's talk about it. Where was this thing? Oh, there we go. Andor creator Tony Gilroy confirms fans' worst fears about his Star Wars future. Andor creator Tony Gilroy has helped deliver some of the most acclaimed, critically acclaimed Star Wars projects of all time. Rogue One and Andor, that is. But it sounds like his time with the franchise is nearing its end. In an interview with Collider, the creative was asked about the possibility of possible future, in the galaxy far, far away, and he hinted at the desire to pursue other opportunities now that Andor is concluding with its second season. After spending a decade involved with the Star Wars universe, Gilroy is ready to move on and will not be feeling guilty after stepping away from the franchise. So this is what he had to say. I've been perceivably involved with for about 10 years and intensely involved for about 6 years. So that's a pretty big a pretty big chunk of my life, Tony Gilroy said. Are other things that I want to do. There you go. I think when it's done, Andor season 2 that is, I will have left a pretty big piece of Star Wars real estate behind. I'm not feeling guilty about not chipping in. So obviously he's really put his mark on the Star Wars universe. And like I mentioned in last stream, and I'll say it again today, if Andor season 2 is as good as I think it's going to be, and I think it's going to be better than Andor season 1, that will make it the best unofficial trilogy of all time. From Andor season 1 to Andor season 2 to Rogue One, it'll be the greatest trilogy of all time. Pretty much. But with giving us the greatest trilogy of all time, his time with Star Wars is over. And after Andor season 2, he's gone. Now, this is sort of really bad news for a lot of Star Wars fans who wanted to see him stick around, to see him maybe take more of a leadership position at Lucasfilm. I never really saw that happening. I mean, you got guys like Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, those types of people who are going to stick around, who are going to get more of a leadership role. Tony was always just a creative. He was always a writer. And I never really intended seeing him stick around. However, this is bad news. This is a bummer for a lot of Star Wars fans, myself included, as he's giving us one of the greatest Star Wars projects of all time. Multiple of the greatest Star Wars projects of all time. And now he's going to leave. Now, it's not impossible to say that he'll never come back. He'll never work on something else, whether it's Andor related or Rogue One related or something else completely. But it seems as though he's done. Andor season 2 is his final piece in the Star Wars universe. And that's a bummer. It is. It really is. But again, he's giving us one of the greatest trilogies of all time. Now, before we get to yeah, all right, let's do this. Yeah, okay. Here we go. Let's do this. So Collider has this interview too where they talk about the Gorman Massacre a lot, and so I want to get to this. So Collider is also the same way that Entertainment Weekly was doing that interview with him. They're asking questions to Tony Gilroy. So the first question, was the last time we spoke was right before the strike had started. And so much has happened since then. Rogue One is one of my all-time favorite Star Wars movies, and I've always think about how pertinent, it was when it came out in 2016. Now, with Andor Season 2 coming out, it is again a very pertinent story that is being told. For you, there's a degree of eeriness, maybe, I don't even know. Is working on these stories that feel, in a way, like a parallel to things that we see in real life. So this is a good point, actually. People have always brought up the comparisons between Andor and real life, like the real current state of the world right now. And Star Wars has always had that, where lessons can be related to the real world. George Lucas has always intended to make lessons be in Star Wars that can translate to the real world for kids usually, but even still. So Tony Gilroy says no. No one was working on this show with a newspaper at any point. We were not intentionally putting current events into Star Wars. When we write so far in advance, I've said this before, I've been a student of history. There you go. As an amateur, much like George Lucas was, taking history lessons and putting them into Star Wars. A dinner table historian all this time. And it's nothing but revolution and uprising and people being swept into events that they weren't ready for, and people assuming heroic roles that they were never anticipated for. So that's the story he's trying to tell. Revolutions happen all the time, all across history. And people who didn't intend to be heroes of a revolution end up being heroes of a revolution. And that's sort of what Cassian's story is, to an extent. One of the really cool things about doing this show is the opportunity to use all the 3 in the morning readings I've wasted over my life to do that. So it's not trying to rhyme with anything. It's not trying to tell anything that's currently happening in the real world, as he's putting it. There you go. But it's like poetry. It does rhyme. Okay, let's get to the Ghorman here. All right, yeah, Ghorman. Here we go. The latest teaser of the series revealed that we were going to see Ghorman, which some Star Wars fans know from the devastating Gorman Massacre. When you're looking at the references to these various events that we have only heard of, what went into the decisions to choosing which to show us? Interesting. So, Tony Gilroy says this. It's the 5 years. I get those 5 years. So in those 5 years, there's a couple of really big things that happen. You map it out on a calendar, on a piece of paper. Okay, here is where I'm going to go. And we have, and here are my 4 blocks, as he puts it. Here's where these things happen. Mon Mothma leaving the Senate is canonical. Sorry. There's been a couple of other events in there. The development of Yavin is also canonical. Obviously, the discovery of the Death Star and whatever intelligence there is. Espionage that leads to the beginning of Rogue One is canonical. I had to get all of those things in there. So he's pretty much looking at what is the important pieces in the 4 years leading up to Rogue One that are the most important to focus on. And the Gorman Massacre is by far one of the most important, as it involves Mon Mothma, and now it can involve the main character, Cassian Andor. Ghorman, interestingly, is canonical, but completely undescribed. Interesting. It's totally a blank slate. So other than what we were talking about earlier, with Tarkin landing the Star Destroyer on pedestrians, the Gorman Massacre is such an important piece to the timeline of Star Wars, but it's not been explored. It's not been explained. It's not been seen with our own 2 eyes. So there's a lot of confusion about the Gorman Massacre and what is the Gorman Massacre, as Tony puts it. There's a lot of confusion within canon. So it's an opportunity to rebuild in a really significant way. It's a very significant part of our story that can do a lot of different things for us with Mon Mothma and other characters. Quite honestly, it's very expensive to build. There you go, because we've seen the set already. So we really wanted to use it as much as possible. So it carries over 5 different episodes. I'm really confident that that the really deep, passionate Star Wars community will appreciate how we've straightened out that story. This is interesting. It's going to go over 5 episodes. Last I checked, this show is going to be 3-episode arcs that cover a span of 4 years in a year time jump in between those 3 episodes. So to cover over 5 different episodes, well, that means we're going to see Ghorman in 2 different time periods. Likely, we're going to see Ghorman a year or 2 before the massacre happens. And it's almost a lead up to the Gorman Massacre. Now, the question becomes, because we see in this trailer here, if I can get to it quickly.
If season 1 laid
this. So we see Ghorman from a like this really high up perspective.
If season 1
Is this also Ghorman? We were talking about, or speculating about how this might be Cinderella, which is Mon Mothma's home world. But is it possible that this is Ghorman? Because she's there with Luthen right now. Fast forward to the end. She's there with Luthen. Nope. It's possible this is Cinderella. But then why else would there be 5 episodes with this place? Oh, we got a super chat. Hang on. Hang on. I Haja with a very generous $5 holla says, Mike, my real name. Oh, sorry. My real name is that an I or an L? I think it's a capital I. Ian? Ian. I don't want to say it wrong because it's, I don't know. But you can call me Cassian, okay? B2 impression for me, please. You big walking carpet Wookiee-sized human. Thank you, I Haja. I really, really appreciate that. Okay. Sorry. Oh, it's like Ian, but with an extra. Okay. Ian. Well, I'm going to keep calling you I Haja because it took me forever to understand that one. But I Haja, I appreciate it. I really, really do. B2 impression, I can do that. How's that? How's that? Cassian. I think B2's gonna die. Okay, moving on. 50 Thunder with a very generous $5 holla says, Mike, an impression, please, of the singing Ewoks in Return of the Jedi. The Ewoks that build the fire that cook Han Solo. Many thanks. The singing Ewoks. Oh, God. Ewoks singing. Let's see what comes up. I don't even know. Is this what you're talking about? Or is this what you're talking about? I could do that. Oh, Lalu! What has this stream become? Where did we go wrong? What happened, Chad? Oh my God. I appreciate it, 50 Thunder. I hope that was sufficient. But you guys are insane. Yeah. Impression of Luthen's famous speech, please. I'm not doing the whole speech, but I'll give you a nice Luthen everything. You ready? Actually, let's just do the end of the speech. Let me look it up. Luthen's monologue. Luthen's monologue is on YouTube, has 2 million views. That's pretty epic.
For someone else's future forever. So what do I sacrifice?
Here we go.
So what do I sacrifice? Everything!
Boom.
Light of gratitude. So what do I sacrifice?
So what do I sacrifice?
Everything!
Everything. Everything. And then it's going to go boom. And then boom. Listen to the boom.
Everything!
So good. So good, chat. Okay. I appreciate it. All right. Let's hang on. Let's do this. Oh yeah, so the Gorman Massacre is going to carry across 5 different episodes. That means it's across at least 2 different years of storytelling. That's going to be pretty interesting to see. I wonder how they're going to play that out. Yeah. Okay. There's something else I want to get to in here, but I don't remember what it was. Hang on, let's see. Let's see. Oh, well, we talked about this already. Join the Andor cast and Tony Gilroy live for a Q&A. Okay, so it's a Q&A. On Thursday, March 13th at 12 p.m. Pacific time, which is 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is when we will have our live stream. So we'll do this live. We will watch this live and do this together live. Wait, what? Wait, what? Moff Gideon's coming back? What? Hang on, chat. What is this? Chat? Chat? Should we read this? Give me a 1 into the chat if we should read this. Moff Gideon coming back? What is going on here? I don't know. How do we feel about this, chat? If this is true. All right, we'll read it. Jeez, calm down. All right. Giancarlo Esposito, who plays Moff Gideon, thinks there's more down the road for Moff Gideon in Star Wars. Let's take a gander at this. The last time Star Wars fans saw Moff Gideon, he was going up in flames. That was at the end of season 3 of The Mandalorian. We saw Giancarlo Esposito's warlord finally unveil his plan. He was attempting to create Force-sensitive clones of himself as part of a grab of power, having set up base on the ruins of Mandalore. Except Din Djarin and friends saw to it that his plans were thwarted. The clones destroyed, and Gideon himself was engulfed in a massive explosion. But death is not always the end in Star Wars. Of course, no one's ever truly gone. And we don't know for sure if Moff Gideon did indeed die. He was encased as he was in his own bespoke Beskar. That's true. I mean, Beskar is pretty good at keeping somebody alive, I guess. But let's keep going. In major new career-spanning interview, Empire spoke to Giancarlo Esposito about many other things. His Star Wars villain. And while he says he doesn't know exactly when we'll see him again, he suggests it might not be the end for his character. As he said this, there's a big movie coming out focusing on Mando and the child. I can't say that I'll be in it, but I hope to be able to join the franchise again because I think that there's going to be there's more road for Moff Gideon. All right, this is a little cryptic, I guess. He's not saying he's going to be in the movie because he can't say that, but he's also not saying he's not in the movie. It seems a little strange to me to bring back Moff Gideon. But that's just me, okay? I know he didn't have a mustache, so everybody thinks he was a clone. I don't think it's a good idea. Let's put it that way. I think you had a great 3-season arc with Moff Gideon, and the end of his story was fantastic. To bring him back for the movie almost seems wrong. It almost seems like the wrong move at this point. Because here's the deal. You have Grand Admiral Thrawn. You already have set up the Big Blue Meanie to be the new villain. So why bring back Moff Gideon? What would be the purpose of that? Yeah, I think David's on the right path here. I think it's more of him wanting to come back and maybe hoping fans get him back. You know? Mike, stop being a hater. Okay, well, I liked his death. I liked his arc that he went on for 3 seasons. He got 3 seasons. It's time for the Big Blue Meanie. I don't know. I think we'll see. I think this is, yeah, like David said, more of him calling for the Star Wars fans to ask for more of him, honestly. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Yeah. But that's a little strange. I did not see that happening today, but that just popped up on the old X, formerly known as Twitter. The more you know. Okay, but what I was looking for here oh, this is sort of the full details of this thing. So, live stream on March 13th, this Thursday at 12 p.m. Pacific Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We've always known that Cassian's journey was destined for the beaches of Scarif. Oh, R.I.P. As we prepare to join star Diego Luna to watch the final chapter of Cassian's life unfold, with Andor Season 2 premiering on April 22nd, Disney Plus series creator Tony Gilroy has a special surprise in store. On Thursday, March 13th, join the showrunner and other special guests for a look back on Andor Season 1, streaming live and simulcast at noon Pacific Time on the Star Wars, Disney Plus, Lucasfilm, and Hulu YouTube channels. Wow. This special event revisits key moments from the first 12 episodes in the critically acclaimed first season, with new insights from the cast and creator. Tune in to the live stream for a chance to have your question answered on screen. Chat, we gotta start thinking of some crazy questions. We gotta start thinking of some crazy questions, like actually real questions, but like some really good ones. Let's get on that, chat. We gotta conjure up a question that they'll actually answer too. That's got to be a big deal. Season 1 is really important, of course. It's hard to anticipate that this won't be the most important thing I've ever worked on by far. Okay, there you go. Just the scale of it being $300 million. So there's a 14-minute recap of Season 1 here. But I wonder what they're going to do, because this is like a rewatch, they're calling it. Either way, there's going to be some details and hints towards the second season here. Like, this is going to be pretty damn wild. And it does say some cast members. I'm guessing Diego Luna should come up. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Okay, what time? It's 12 p.m. Pacific Time, or noon Pacific Time, and 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So right during our live stream on Thursday. We'll watch it live. Yeah. Absolutely. We should ask him if any Jedi show up. Again, he won't answer that. We need an answerable question. We can't be like, oh, will Luthen die? Like, he won't answer that. They won't answer that. We could be like, in your own professional opinion, if I were a watcher of Season 2, and I was hoping to see a character by the name of Lord Vader, would my hopes and dreams be met, or would they be squished? Maybe not that, but something like that. If we phrased it in a way where we could get it through. Be like, you know that big old dude who runs the whole galaxy? What's the likelihood of him showing up? Yeah. How much of the TIE Avenger will we get? That's not a bad question. Should we just ask him a question about, like, something completely different? Be like, in Andor Season 5, will we ever see Andor get resurrected? Is nobody ever truly gone? Did Cassian and Jyn survive the beaches of Scarif? Should we expect to see a bunch of deaths in this series? Yeah. I don't know. I heard Revan is actually Andor. Andor's great-great-great-great-great-grandpa. Okay. Maybe. Maybe. Let me end this poll. Do you guys think that Kino Loy will be in season 2? Wow. 80% of you said yes. 80%. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Question. Will you take an Acolyte season 2? There you go. Have Tony Gilroy make it. 50 Thunder with a very generous $10 holla. I appreciate that quite a bit. Says, great chat today with you good people. Good will be giving a shout out. Oh, giving a shout out to Holly, Inklet, and any of those other regular people who come to chat who couldn't make it today and probably will be catching this later. Well, 50 Thunder, I appreciate that. And I'm sure those people appreciate it as well. Yeah, not everybody can make every stream, and I totally get it. So I appreciate that quite a bit. Everyone dies. That'd be wild if we were just like, hey, you want to make Acolyte season 2 for us, please? Thank you. What if all of us, all 80 of us right here, right now, went on the live chat and said, please, pretty please, make the Acolyte season 2. You think they'd like this? Yeah. iHot just says, Mandalorian and Grogu movie goes to Peridia on Space Whales. I don't think so. I don't think he'll spoil anything. Yeah, I don't think so either. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. All right, but we did just pass the 2-hour mark. Watch out for a short tonight, and of course every night for the rest of your lives. Watch out for a video probably tomorrow. If not, then we'll go from there. But live stream on Thursday, live stream on Saturday, and every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday for the rest of your lives. Huge shout-outs to 50 Thunder for the very generous super chat. David Ihaja, D. Vader, Darth Plagueis Lives, Pam Hill, Chris, all of you for the very generous super chats. Huge shout out to Dave, D. Vader, and Jacob for the very generous memberships. We were getting very close to 100 memberships. Absolutely insane. But until next time, smash a freaking like on the stream. How many likes do we have, chat? We're going to be upset. How many likes do we have? 69. Nice. No, not nice. We had way more than 69 people here the whole time. Smash a freaking like on the stream if you have not already. Hit that subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video in my pretty face or show up on the recommended feed of yours. Go check out the last What If we did. What if Mace Windu killed Palpatine? That's what it was. And go check out the video we did on Sunday, I believe it was. Yeah, Sunday, which was about George Lucas's canceled Star Wars Underworld show. So go check out those, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it. But until next time, may the Force be with you. Always. Oh, yeah. What a great stream. What a great show. You guys are the absolute best. I appreciate you all so much more than you will ever know. This was a crazy one. This was an absolute crazy stream for sure. The whole surprise entrance of Moff Gideon was wild. Did not see that coming. But yeah, so what are my predictions for Grogu's first words? This is the way. But yeah, so I don't know. Andor Season 2 is going to be awesome. That's all I can pretty much say about it. But until next time, I hope you have a great rest of your evening. Great rest of your lives. And good night, everybody.